What's going on, people? We're running it back, German International. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I got my guy back on the set with me today, Michael Simpson. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Monday, get a chance to connect with him, get to know him a little bit better. Thank you guys for listening, tuning in. Leave us some comments throughout the session, the episode today. Let us know what you thought. Again, share it with your friends because I believe today we're going to get into some stuff that really can benefit every leader, but also I think it's going to stimulate those that are listening to dream and dream big. Because once you hear this young man's ideas, concepts, and his vision for what he's doing, I believe what we're on the cusp of seeing Central PA changed and the landscape improve dramatically. So again, share this with your friends. We appreciate all your support, and we're gonna dive right into it. So Michael, we talked about your college experience in the last episode on Monday. Let's get into talking about how, and it's called Capital Rebirth. That's his organization, his foundation. Get into talking about how that came about and bring us up to speed to today.
All right. So Capital Rebirth, like I said, I'm the founder. It got started back in 2010. The ideas got started, pretty much. Like I said, when I signed NFL contract, I was told that I could never play again. Went through a very deep depression, suicidal phase. And at that time, I just looked back at what I enjoyed in life, and it always led me back to working with kids and my nieces and nephews. So I knew at that point, a kid had to be brought to this world for me to move on and save myself. So it wasn't an ideal situation. We weren't married, the way you would technically want it to go down. But nevertheless, the birth of my daughter happened, and that's where Rebirth came from. So like I said, the birth of her rebirthed my life, gave me new hope, gave me new passion. Then another twist to Rebirth is my favorite rapper is Lil Wayne at that time. Well, always, but at that time, he was crossing over to produce a rock album. So to me, I looked at it as I was this football player, and now I'm crossing over to a new life. Who knows where it's going to take me at this point? Lil Wayne is crossing over from his comfortability to something different. So I looked at that whole transition. And then Rebirth actually stands for respect earned by intelligence, resilience, truth, and humanity. So I think those are the core things that every human needs to have to just be great in society. So with that being said, Capital Rebirth got started, and our mission is basically to unify and uplift Central Pennsylvania through providing positive, family-friendly events and programs. With our main end goal, which we'll get into later, is the Rebirth Project. But the things leading up to it are events that we do, programs that we do. Our biggest one, actually we're coming up on our 3rd anniversary of it, is our Anti-Bullying Superhero Day.
Okay.
One of the big things that I learned coming back is when I substitute taught in Harrisburg School District, when I was a TSS, and then I worked in inpatient hospital with kids who attempted to commit suicide. Bullying was a big, topic, whether it was in-person bullying or, via online social medias. So I just want to bring awareness to that. So we use our superheroes, Batman, Superman, those likes to dress up. We encourage the kids to dress up as well. It's just a family-friendly day where we have inflatable bouncers, free food. But one unique thing that we like to do with all our events with Capital Rebirth is if you're coming to an anti-bullying event, we're going to have services as vendors. So you didn't just come to an anti-bullying event, heard maybe a speech, ran around, had some fun, seen some superheroes, took some pictures. No, if you're having issues, you can get that information and, get a better understanding of what services are being offered in this area to help your child. Our second biggest one probably is Stop the Violence and Drug Abuse Talent Fest, which we hosted at Reservoir Park. And it's just a mixture, music, poetry, dance, step teams. We had the Harrisburg cheerleaders come out, and in between that we had about 45-minute fashion show where local artists and designers can showcase they're proud of as well. But what that also doing is bringing highlight in, the awareness to, the drug abuse and the violence in our community. Like I said, we like to have vendors on site for those. We've also offered free football camps, 5-day camps. We've become very active as in the voting process, and we have partnered with Black Voters Matter, which is out of Philadelphia region, with their headquarters in Atlanta. So we're just trying to stay active in current times. But like I said, right now, due to COVID, a lot of things have slowed down. We can't operate, the normal capacity that we would love to. So a lot of things are being done via Facebook and, Zoom. But like I said, we're all leading up to work towards this Rebirth project, which is the ultimate goal for our organization.
Wow, man, you got a lot going on, man, which is good. And I really like, I like to see positive, young men and women, thinking outside the box, because a lot of times, we come up and, a lot of people who are living within the confines of what happened before, what has been, and people encourage you to don't deviate or get outside the lines, and you got to follow this pattern. You're the type of young man, and I see it in you. You're the type of young man that, you live outside the box, and you have ideas and concepts. You're not the type that is going to allow somebody else to dictate whether you can or cannot accomplish them.
So that's just the way my mind works. I analyze structure.
Okay.
So when I say I analyze structure, that's being, you can't tell me something isn't feasible if I've seen it operate in another city. So when like I said, I was blessed to start traveling and catching flights at 10, 11 years old. So my mind is always, what brings people to this city? What stands out about this city? So how is this city actually operating and being structured? So I've always been, the person to look at Harrisburg and compare it to every city that I've always visited. And I look, okay, well, if this is great in this city, this can fit in Harrisburg. Okay, well, this is great here, but it probably wouldn't fit in Harrisburg. So that's kind of how I pull my ideas together. And then, when you look at the college football experience, like I said, a lot of times people won't pay attention to those small details and how they're being pulled and pursued in different ways. I'm going to analyze all that because, like I said, I'm not a gullible person. You can't just tell me things. Number one, I'm going to go research. I don't care, what you're telling me. I'm still going to go research it because I'm just not a person who believes anything today. With so many, publications of newsletters and things being on social network, you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know if it's true or facts. So I'm definitely going to do research. And like I said, that just comes from me. I analyze structure and what works and why it works.
Yeah, and that's so key and so important. If you want to be a leader, if you want to be a leader and not a follower, sometimes you gotta pioneer and navigate your own path.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you need to go where no one else has gone before, and it sounds like that's what you're doing. Let me ask you this, because another thing I hear too, you're doing a lot. I hear, certain things in the community and so forth. One word I hear is collaboration. I'm sure you wouldn't be able to do the things you're doing and have done if you guys didn't collaborate with other people, organizations, companies in the process. Because I believe a lot of times people are operating solo and they're missing the boat of being able to, or opportunities to connect with other like-minded organizations. Speak about the concept of collaboration too.
So that is very important that you just touched on. But my mindset worked a little different the first year of me operating. I want Capital Rebirth to be branded. So, our first anti-bullying superhero day, I didn't want to go out and connect with a bunch of people and then nobody knows, who's the spearhead of this. So like our first year of doing the things, any type of event or whatever it is, we want to do it by ourselves. And we're not going to take on something where we can't operate by ourselves. Now, as we've grown, we have reached out to other organizations. We have reached out to other individuals, to help be a part of, and, on the back end, if, another organization, they need something, or they need some answers or guidance, if we have them, I'm definitely going to share them. That's another thing about me. I don't keep secrets. I don't believe in, that mentality, if I tell you, it's going to stop me or hurt me, or it's going to take away from me. No, if I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm focused on what I'm focused on, you're focused on what you're focused on, we're not going to collide.
Right.
So share that resource, share that connection if there's grants available, or if there's funding available, or if there's potential other organizations who, can align with, another person. I try to play that bridge too. And like I said, I just recently joined Friends of Midtown's board. And the reason being is, the times that we're in right now, we're divided.
Yeah.
When you look at Friends of Midtown, they're predominantly white. They have a gray cloud, over the city. So I want to take that leap and say, hey, I want to bridge this gap. I want to get a better understanding of, how Midtown operates and how they view the rest of our city, because I know how our city views Midtown. I don't take it personal, but a lot of people do, the way things are ran in Midtown. So I just want to try to, like I said, be that gap, provide some sort of understanding to both sides, because I can play that fence. But yeah, collaborating is big. And like I said, with this Rebirth project, we have to collab.
Yeah.
So, I'll dive into the Rebirth if you don't mind a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Let's take the time to do that.
So, if you're familiar with William Penn, the old high school, it sits on top of Italian Lake. Our organization has placed a bid to purchase that last January. And we have recently spoke with the school district, the receiver, and superintendent last week for the first time. I like to say I got positive vibes from that conversation. And just to give a rundown of it, the building is filled with lead and asbestos, and there's actual trees growing in the building. So sabotaging the building, saving the building, is in our mindset right now. We would demo the building, build out as close as we can to sidewalks. That way, the whole entire 25 acres will be enclosed, so we can operate 365 with no weather. And it will serve as a place where a pandemic would happen or a natural disaster. We have 49,000 residents in our community. We can house all 49,000 between the stadium and the complex, where everybody's safe in one location. So if there was a natural disaster, that's a safe haven.
Right.
But like I said, we want to bring back the VOTEC. So we want to have 50 college-style lecture classrooms. We want to have 25 VOTEC classrooms with 12 open workspaces. So that brings back the VOTEC William Penn feel. We also want to have an agriculture area. A lot of people are strong on that and advocating, that we need to learn how to feed ourselves, grow, eat healthier, eat cleaner. But when living up north, we have 4 seasons. So how are you gonna grow, any crops in the next 6 months when it's 20 and 30 degrees? And even when it's nice, 70, 80, 90, you can have thunderstorms. So who's gonna sit in the middle of a thunderstorm? Yeah. But now we'll have 2 floors where you can operate every day of the year, no matter what is going on outside. Another entity we want to have is a Olympic-sized swimming pool. The Harrisburg School District hasn't had a swimming pool in 30 years, probably since the old middle school that sits out Susquehanna. And if you look at statistics, they don't lie. Minorities drown at an alarming rate. And there's no rocket science. Why? Because we don't have access to it. So kids aren't, being taught how to swim at an early age. You look at our community swimming pools at Jackson Lake and the Southside Pool, they're very not up to date. They're not very functionable. People don't really go, so you're not getting that lesson to learn how to swim. So that's a big piece that the minorities are missing. Another part is we want to have a sensory gym for kids and adults on the spectrum, because kids on the spectrum and adults on the spectrum, they don't have a lot of friendly, welcoming places. They don't have a lot of sensory-based items or places that they can go to enjoy themselves, so we wanted to implement that as well. A lot of kids in our city are dealing with trauma, and they take that out in a way of being violent. So the way we can possibly change that is we're offering a boxing gym. Okay. So, a lot of kids can get into boxing, whether it's to fight competitively or, just to train and get that anger out of you, because we need to get it released somehow, some way. Boxing is a sport that's actually growing in our community if people are paying attention. Basketball is always going to be a gold mine in Harrisburg, so we want to have 4 basketball courts and volleyball courts, so we won't have to travel for AAU tournaments anymore. We can have a array of games going on at once in volleyball as well. We also have a physical rehab center. and that goes hand in hand with the weight room being right there, physical fitness gym, and the swimming pool. A lot of facilities, if you look at physical therapy, you need swimming because that takes the pressure off your limbs and ligaments, gives you a better recovery. So we'll have that on site. A lot of times you need a weight room, to build up those muscles, or whatever the case, injury that you may have, that's going to be there as well. And then we also want to have a food court area where if you're not a mom and pop store from Harrisburg, you're not going to be welcome at all. Like this is, designed for everybody in Harrisburg and the surrounding area, Central Pennsylvania, to benefit from. This isn't for, franchises to come in, continue to make millions and millions of dollars while we suffer.
Right.
And then on the third floor, it would consist of a football, soccer field, and then 2 youth baseball fields. And then the big entity will be an indoor stadium that would sit 20,000. It can change moving forward due to COVID situations. We may, drop it down to 15, whatever the case may be. But with that being said, it will be the only indoor stadium of this magnitude on the entire East Coast. So you can go to Ohio, you can go to New York, you can go to New Jersey, you can go to Maryland, wherever the case may be, you're not going to find that. So what that means, we can operate 365. What that means is we have New York, we have Baltimore, we have Philadelphia, we have DC. These are big cities, Atlantic City, we're all within 2 to 3 hours driving range, right? So now you don't have to go on the road to go see a Drake or, Justin Bieber or Beyonce or, wrestling or Disney events. It's all coming to your backyard. And a lot of questions have been, how are you going to handle traffic? Well, it's simple. We have an on-site parking spot, but if you look at any stadium in America, they only hold 10% of their capacity. A lot of people don't know that as well. If you've ever been to a Philadelphia Eagles game or a Penn State game, you're walking 20, 30, 40 minutes.
Right.
But the kicker with this is nobody's going to walk more than 10 minutes and nobody's going to drive more than 10 minutes. So the shopping center has a parking lot. The state is building a new offices on 7th and Division, which is less than a block away. So that's going to create about a couple hundred parking lots. You got the shopping center, like I said. You have right across the street, the Zimbo Shrine, which has 2 parking lots. The Scottish right next to that has 2 parking lots. The PPI hospital has 2 parking lots and a garage. Now, any overflowing traffic, we can partner with a shuttle company or transportation company and outsource some parking downtown or parking at the farm show or at HAT, and they'll be brought in less than 10 minutes. So everything is under 10 minutes walking or car. And it's also going to help with the city's push that they've been, trying to seek funding federally and through PennDOT to get a bridge and a walking bridge built from the shopping center over to HAT's parking lot. Okay. So when you think of that, if that goes, traffic will literally be on the highway on Cameron Street in 2 minutes, so residents won't see an overflow on their streets or, in their community. So when we think about the traffic, that's something, we took very seriously because we know how that can be a hassle, especially if I come home at 5 o'clock and there's a major event. I got 20 bags of groceries. I don't want to park, 2 blocks away. Yep. So, we have taken that in mind, we took in that serious consideration. So we do want to make that, an easy transition for everybody involved. Wow. But like I said, this program, this complex is designed for anybody who owns a business or organization or individuals that want to provide services to come utilize this space to run it. So I always give this example. We're going to be hands-off, right? Everybody's basically going to be tenants. So Capital Rebirth, when I run an after-school program, a summer program, our local YMCAs, boys clubs, and school districts already operate and run programs. So it's hard to get a facility, and they're pretty much operating under the same curriculum, the same structure. So you're targeting the same kids and the same interests. But like I said, with the 25 VOTEC classrooms, the 50 college lecturers, the swimming, the agriculture, you can have legit 10, 15 different programs catering to different interests and needs of these kids instead of the same 3 that we continue to heart, nurture, and support, which is sports, selling drugs, and music. What about that kid who is good in music? What about that kid who's an artist? What about that kid who wants to be a lawyer? What if that kid wants to be a doctor or a veterinarian, or just want to fix cars and be a mechanic? What about that kid? That's where this complex will come into play. That's where different organizations and businesses can come operate and run their programs now. So it's built for the community. It's for the community. It isn't like a Capital Rebirth thing. Because like I said, our school district is financially crippled and our city is financially crippled. These will take both of them out. Like I said, if we can do close to Spooky Nook's numbers, we're in a great position.
Right.
If, with the Votech situation, if a lot of people don't know, Harrisburg is currently paying $3 million for 200 students to attend DC Tech program in Central Dauphin, which is not a friendly environment for our kids to learn in. But we switch it now with 75 classrooms with 25 kids per, that's 1,800 student enrollment. You can have 900 Harrisburg, 900 outsourced, so the school district could potentially make $16 to $20 million income every year off of other school districts. So the school district wins, right? And then when we look at the city, how are they going to win? Well, the stadium. Okay, Spooky Nook down the street, they employed 1,300 people, made their economy $98 million in taxes, and they had 1 million visitors in 7 months. We offer education in an indoor stadium that they don't have. So even if we do 25% of their numbers, that's 25 million for the city.
Wow.
We can do a lot with 25 million. So like this plan was developed to help the city and the school district, because without those two being helped financially, the city doesn't grow, the residents don't grow. So we just try to solve as many problems as one as we can.
Wow, man, that's awesome, man. Like a couple things, because a couple things out here, and this vision is humongous. I mean, it's large, but I can see how it's going to meet several different needs in the community. Obviously, you're setting up some structure, some opportunities for underprivileged youth. I hear that, but I also see the opportunity for local businesses to get off the ground. If they are off the ground, this can help provide some stability for them.
Absolutely.
So I hear that, and the other thing I hear too is the financial gain and opportunity for the school district, for the community. So I hear those three components really have an opportunity to have a foundation and then grow. Absolutely. And I know your mindset is, talking with you off the set and hearing you talk now, you're thinking long term.
Absolutely. And
stability. And one thing I want to say too, Michael, and this is to the leaders out here, based off of his story, and your story isn't done. You just getting started. Yeah. So I want to say to the leaders, because we're always trying to provide. Not trying, but I'm always providing content for leaders out there. So 3 things I want to share. Number 1 is you got to have a vision. And this started, Michael, with a vision, something you saw. So leaders, you got to have a vision for where you want to go and what you want to do. Okay,
and I want to but I want to say it's going to take time.
Yep.
This project, the Rebirth project, I have legit been working on for 7 years now.
Wow.
So this isn't I just rolled over, I just want to start to put this together. No, I have thousands upon thousands of pages of research done to give me the confidence to actually write it down and draw it out, to have the confidence to actually put a proposal into the school district. So like a lot of these things, they're not rushed. Greatness isn't rushed. I don't care what you're trying to do. I just want people to understand, I know we live in an instant world. Everything has to be instantly done. The results have to be No, the great things that's going to last for a long time take time. Like I said, this was 7 years in the making.
Wow.
So 7 years I've held this to my chest and worked on it, and now I'm in a position where I'm excited to release it.
Yeah, and actually that was going to lead me to my next point is, number 1 is the vision. Number 2, do your homework and do your research. And it took you this long, that amount of time, to really get your ducks in a row, do your research so that it can lead you down the right path, connect with the right people, and also structure things in the right way. Your research led you to do that because you have a lot of facts, you have a lot of information. So have a vision. Secondly, do your research. And thirdly is step out and do it. And once you have the vision and you do your research and you have information compiled and different things, you have the statistics, you can have the confidence, and you have the confidence, you can have the confidence to step out and know where to step out, know where to connect, know where to go, know who to collaborate with. And collaboration takes time too, but I think those 3 things, Michael, has led you to where you're at today, and it's going to catapult you into creating something in the community that's probably gonna change the landscape of how we do life here in Harrisburg.
Forever.
Yeah, forever. Yeah,
That's the point.
So definitely appreciate having you on. You and I are gonna, collaborate even beyond this. I'm excited about how we can work together. We are like-minded people. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you share this with your friends. Leave us some comments. If you want to connect with Michael, if you're in the Central PA area, Michael, what's your website? How can people connect with you?
So our website is www.capitalrebirth.com. Our Instagram and Facebook are pretty much the same, Capital Rebirth 717. If you want to get directly to me, my social handles are pretty much the same, Michael Juice Simpson.
Okay.
I'm easy to find, I'm always around. I like talking to people, I like meeting new people, especially if you have an interest in helping our community and our youth. I'll be honest, if you want to talk about anything else, I probably won't want to talk. Okay. That's just where my mind is. Like, right. If it's not improving individuals in our community, I just don't want to, waste time because I have so much energy and focus on improving our community. Right. But anything else, I love to talk to people, I love to meet people. So, hit me up.
Okay. Again, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come out. I know your schedule is busy.
Absolutely.
We'll stay in touch. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
Perfect.